Hello, everyone, and welcome back to SpeakFlow Podcast. How are you today? Today, I am here with Emma, and today we are going to talk about a very important problem that almost every English learner faces: why you can understand English very well, but still cannot speak it fluently.
Hello, everyone. I am very happy to be here. This is actually one of the most important questions in language learning because many people feel confused about it. They watch English videos, they read English texts, they understand almost everything. But when they try to speak, they suddenly feel blank. So today we will understand this problem in a very simple but deep way, and we will also talk about practical solutions.
Emma, let's start with the main question. Why does this gap exist between understanding English and speaking English?
That's a great question, and the answer is actually connected to how our brain learns language. You see, understanding English is what we call a receptive skill. That means your brain is only receiving information. When you listen or read, your brain has time. It can think slowly, it can guess meaning, and it can even ignore small mistakes. But speaking is completely different. Speaking is a productive skill. It means your brain has to create sentences instantly, organize grammar, choose vocabulary, and produce sound, all at the same time. So even if you understand English perfectly, your brain may not be trained to produce it quickly. That is why people freeze when they speak.
So basically, understanding is passive, but speaking is active?
Exactly. And this is the most important distinction. Many learners think that if they watch enough videos or learn enough grammar, speaking will automatically come. But speaking is a separate skill, just like driving a car. You can read all the rules of driving, but you cannot drive unless you actually practice it.
That makes a lot of sense. But Emma, there are people who know a lot of English grammar and vocabulary, yet they still cannot speak fluently. Why does that happen? This happens because of something very important called real-time processing. In real conversation, you do not have time to think slowly. You must respond immediately. So what happens is learners start translating from their native language into English in their mind. This translation process creates a delay. For example, they think a sentence in their mother tongue, then they convert it into English word by word. During this process, the conversation already moves forward, and they lose confidence. Another reason is overthinking. Many learners try to make perfect sentences in their mind before speaking, but fluent speakers do not do that. They use ready-made sentence patterns, also called chunks, like I think, in my opinion, what I mean is. These patterns come automatically with practice. So you're saying fluency is not about building perfect sentences every time, but using ready-made patterns?
Yes, exactly. Fluent speakers do not build sentences from zero every time. They rely on patterns they've used many times before. That is why practice is so important. Not just reading or listening, but speaking the same structures again and again until they become automatic.
That leads me to another point. Many learners are afraid of making mistakes. How does that affect speaking ability?
Fear is actually one of the biggest barriers in language learning. When learners are afraid of making mistakes, their brain becomes slow and controlled. Instead of speaking naturally, they start monitoring every word. This reduces fluency. But mistakes are not a problem. They are part of learning. In fact, every fluent speaker has made thousands of mistakes. The difference is that they did not stop speaking because of those mistakes. A child learns a language by making mistakes freely. Adults, on the other hand, try to be perfect from the beginning, and that slows everything down.
That is very interesting. So confidence is actually more important than accuracy in the beginning?
Yes, in the early stage, confidence and communication are more important than perfection. You can improve grammar later, but if you lose confidence, you will not speak at all. So the goal should be speak first, improve later.
Emma, can you give some practical steps for learners who want to improve their speaking?
Of course, I will give 3 simple but powerful steps. First, start speaking every day, even if it is only simple sentences. For example, describe your day in English. I am waking up. I am going to school. I am studying. This builds habit. Second, stop translating in your mind. Try to connect ideas directly in English. This takes time, but it is very important for fluency. Third, use shadowing technique. That means listen to a sentence in English and repeat it immediately. This helps your brain learn rhythm, pronunciation, and sentence structure together.
These are very practical tips. Emma, one final question. How long does it usually take to become fluent?
That depends on consistency, not intelligence. If someone practices speaking every day, even for 10-15 minutes, they can see improvement in a few months. But if someone only studies grammar without speaking, even years may not be enough. fluency is not a talent. It is a habit.
That is a powerful statement. Fluency is a habit, not a talent.
Yes, exactly.
Before we end, what would you like to tell our listeners?
I want to say this. Do not wait for perfect English. Start speaking now, even with small mistakes, because fluency comes from action, not from preparation. If you are listening to this and you also face the same problem, let us know in the comments. Do you understand English but struggle to speak it? And if you enjoyed this conversation, please like and subscribe to SpeakFlow Podcast.
Today was a very meaningful discussion.
Yes, I enjoyed it a lot.
Thank you everyone for listening.
See you in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.